Alright, I want to start the video by saying I apologize for the crappy audio because I forgot to charge my microphone. So this is a waste. So I will try and talk loud enough to where hopefully that won't be an issue. So I'm going off the top of my head with pricing, so it's going to be off, but the screen will show the correct pricing. And I'm in the middle of nowhere, so I don't have service. So whatever I say, just look at the list to make sure it's even close to being accurate. Okay, so to start off, the truck was posted for sale for $33,500. I did not pay that, and I'll show you why. But if you wanted to buy a Fortune Ram, similar spec, that's kind of a good, they're kind of going between like 30, 35. So 33.5 was pretty accurate if you want to build one for yourself. But I'll get into why I got it for a little bit cheaper in a second. I bought the truck already on a 3-inch level. Not really gonna have that listed, but I will say it's just a generic, probably Amazon or eBay spacer, probably $200 that will be getting swapped out for a Carly kit here pretty soon once I decide which kit I want to run. But in the meantime, this is doing the job to mostly clear these 22 by 12 and 35s. I'll start off with that, and registration. Registration was like $2,200, which always sucks because you're just like giving that money away. But let's get started on what I had to fix immediately, and then we'll get into more of the fun stuff. Okay, so if you want to see everything I've done to this truck, you can watch my previous videos. I don't have very many because I packed in like everything into a couple of videos. This video is just off of what I can remember, and I'll put anything that I missed at the end of the video. So I flew to Florida to buy this, and the flight and rental car was like $250 total. I could not find anything that I wanted in the state of Georgia, so I had to fly down to Florida to buy it. From here to here, there was damage that was not disclosed to me. I asked if there was anything that I need to know about, and the guy said, no, it's a great truck, it's perfect, it's 9 out of 10. No. Anyway, whenever he pulled up, the sun was hitting it just right to where I was like, I'm not buying this truck. So I was about to get back in my rental car and go to the airport and fly home. The salesman called the owner of the dealership, and I was like, I'm not taking this truck for the price that we agreed on. And so we need to either negotiate a little bit more, or because I had a cashier's check with the amount that we agreed on. The truck was not as advertised, in my opinion. The owner of the company worked with me a little bit, and so I got the price knocked down just a little bit. And as you can see, I have a beautiful new bedside, and the color matches perfectly. Very happy. And by the way, I was gonna get a black truck because I've gotten so many black vehicles. I'm so glad I didn't. This Maximum Steel Metallic, whenever it's clean. It just rained yesterday and I drove like 6 hours. Okay, so, oh, and I got the fire painted as well. So yeah, that whole repair cost, I want to say like $1,300, because all this had to be reworked. When I was leaving the dealership though, I had a nasty rotational clunking sound, and I pulled over and I was like, man, I do not need to buy this truck. It's just going to be a nightmare for me after like one thing after another, right? But what I ended up doing was I went back to the dealership, had their mechanic check it out, and it was just a U-joint. I was like, okay, the truck has 135,000 miles, so that's not a big deal. So I went ahead and got both U-joints replaced. I want to say, off the top of my head, that I am in like $650 for the U-joints and the labor for both. I went ahead and replaced both. They're spicer U-joints and they were pretty beefy, so that's what I went with, and now I have no clunking. U-joints are great. So then, this is all the immediate stuff that I had to get done. Then I got a coolant flush and a brake fluid flush. Let's go check that out. So I got a coolant flush because it was a very stained reservoir, and the coolant was mixed with not approved coolant, so the color was weird. It was kind of frothy and it just wasn't good. So I went ahead and had a dealership do the flush on that and the brake fluid flush. Okay, keep that in mind. So I pick it up, and that's when I take it to the body shop. When I get it back, it's spewing out of the seam right here. I don't know if they overpressurized it or what. The dealership was actually really cool and working with me and got me a new reservoir, so that was fixed. Then the brake fluid was spraying all underneath the truck, and it's dried up now. I don't know why it stopped, but I'm gonna keep an eye on it. So both services done by a dealership and got messed up. I don't know if that was just absolutely like from the flush that I didn't notice, and they just, you know, had the lines out and all that good stuff. While I'm under here, I did the crankcase vent filter, and that was super easy, and a dealership will absolutely rob you. So don't do that. Do it yourself for like 5 minutes, and it's like 80 bucks. I'll try and remember to put that on there as well. Currently need to do an oil change with the fuel filter and the water separator. That I ordered the oil already, but I'm gonna do a full cost breakdown on this thing whenever it's done. This is just like a halfway point. So that is up next, along with you know, those filters I said. Okay, let's keep it going. And then I got new, sorry for the truck being absolutely filthy, brakes and rotors. And I want, I'm gonna butcher this one, like 400 bucks. I'll put the exact number on there. I need new headlights because this one is broken and condensating. Gonna be building a set, so that'll be on the next video, as well as the paint match for the grill, bumpers, mirrors, stuff like that. Debadging was free. Let's see. The windows were already tinted. I don't know. They look like they match the rears, so it was probably like a 20%. And that's good enough for me for right now. And then the OEM cab lights were yellow looking. So I got these Boost Auto ones, and they are, let me show you, even though it's daytime, you might not be able to see. So I can see them in the daytime. I don't know how good they're showing up on video. Okay, not bad. These are actually really bright. So I went with those over painting my OEMs just because I wanted the actual white LED. They're much brighter than factory, and they fit great. It's rained like probably 3 times already since I put them in. No leaking issues. The foam gasket that they come with is great, and it's a built-in LED unit, so you won't have any water intrusion actually, which is great. Another common thing that I do on trucks is the Morimoto third brake light. And then as you can see, I got it paint matched. It's really dirty right now. These are 200 bucks. Just got my bed rail cap sitting a little bit better. These are 200 bucks. They can come with a rapid flash module for an extra 25 bucks. And whenever you hit the brake, it would flash a couple times. I opted to not do that this time. So I got the Morimoto third brake light and cab lights painted at the same time that I got the bedside painted because the paint was already mixed. And I think they charged me, I did all the taping myself. So this is like very intricate. I hope you can see that. And then it's just the strip left open on the third brake, or on the cab lights. So I think they charged me like 200 bucks to paint both of those because I already had a lot of paint mix for the bedside. Speaking of bedside, if you recall my first couple videos, you will see that this bed rail was absolutely torn up, where this was like super curved and warped. The tailgate trim was cracked in 3 places, and this one was kind of warped as well. So now I have all new bed rail caps and tailgate cap. And I want to say for all 3 of those, remember this is an 8-foot bed, I want to say like $250 for all 3. So honestly, not that bad. I think OEM was probably $250 a piece. Probably like $650 for so I got like half off. I went with Dorman. I've used Dorman before on many things, never had an issue. The fitment, once I got all of them clipped down properly and I let it like bake in the sun, it actually molded really well. All right, coming to the back, debadged, and definitely one of my favorite things so far is the OEM 5th-gen taillights. So for those who don't know, the 2019 to 2024 taillights will fit 4th-gen Rams with a harness. So if you have the incandescent or the LED taillights, they will work. You have to get the correct harness. Plug and play harness, super sick. You have, let me turn the lights on, but this is the running light, turn signals, reverse light, and it just, I think with the Morimoto third brake, it just makes the truck look like a 5th-gen. So there is the running light and cargo lights on the Morimotos. So just looks like a 5th-gen. I did not get a 5th gen tailgate, but I did get some dents removed. That was right here. That was $200. That was an absolute steal in my opinion. So there's the tails. The tails, off the top of my head, are like $12.50 with the harness. So they're kind of pricey. You can get Morimotos for like half that price. They don't look as good in my opinion, but they for half price, if you're more on a budget, definitely would recommend checking out the Morimotos. But no hyper flash, no air codes or nothing. These are OEM with a proper harness, and you'll have no issues. For anyone that cares, this is kind of a dumb one, but you can get 24-inch blades instead of 22, and it'll work better on the inside. The outside is probably like 23, where it actually connects. But overall, yeah, works better than a 22 in my opinion. And if it can fit, why not? And then wiper fluid, because the truck was had no fluid in it. What else? Got Morimoto license plate lights, and they're full LED, and they're like $30, I think. I also got Morimoto's underhood lights as well as puddle lights to install. That will be whenever I take the mirror apart to get color match. I will get them painted as well. Bullet antenna, like $10 on Amazon. I got chrome to match the mirror caps, door handles, and soon to be wheels. I also got a new backup camera because the OEM one was super foggy. $60 on Amazon versus like $200 for OEM. Now for wheels and tires, and then I will get into the parts I have sitting in the garage, and then I will get into what I have coming. So this wheel and tire setup is 22x12 Lucid Forge Strikers and 35 1250 22 Nitto Ridge Grapplers. They were black and milled until I drove in the rain a few times. So this is a temporary set because I'm going to do a brush finish wheel. Probably the same size. I don't want to go any wider. I think this is wide enough. I think it looks very proportional. I might do a 24x12, but again, I think this looks very proportional from all angles. Like, it's still rides pretty good, but I think a 24x12 might be a little too much. I don't know yet. And then I'm kind of limited on tires whenever I switch to a 24. I can still do a Ridge Grap. I could do a Fury, Mickey Thompson, Toyo, but they get very pricey for a 24. They're already not cheap for a 22. The wheels are 4,400, black and milled, a little bit cheaper if you go polished. Same price for gloss black, and then a little bit more expensive if you go brushed. So tires, depends on when, but normally about 2,400. Mallet bounce was 200. And then the black lug nuts were 50 or 60. So let's see, what's that? That's probably like 7,000 for wheels and tires. But I think they kind of make the truck. Obviously, you can go a cheaper brand of wheel or tire, but here is 22x12s and 35s. And that's of course with a true 35. If you get an off-brand or cheaper tire, they normally don't run as tall, so you can have less issues. If you decide to do a 35-inch tire, you'd have to do less trimming than with a Nitto or a Toyo generally. Okay, I'm running out of storage, so I gotta make this quick. Everything's getting painted right here. Mirror caps, rear bumper. I have dynamic lights going in. I have a ton of goodies underneath the truck that'll make it sound better and run better. So still a lot more to come. Got running boards and paint match and a lot of go fast parts coming. So with that, there is the total somewhere on the screen. It's probably a lot, but I love this truck. If you have any questions about any products or whatever, or if you have any suggestions on what else I should do to this thing, definitely drop a comment. Thanks for watching.